Hi there, welcome back to my channel. In this series, we'll be looking at what is React JS and how to use React JS to create front-end applications. Now, React JS is a JavaScript library that allows you to create front-end applications, and it's based on creating UI components and UI logic. So, very first thing we'll look at is we'll look at the basic concepts of React JS. We're looking at these various concepts and examples under each of these concepts. So we're looking at JSX, component, prop, state, hooks, redux, where we're looking at users, action types, and stuff. And later on, once we are familiar with these concepts and examples, looking at how to create a shopping cart application, we're looking at how to create these different pages, create product, view product, list, add product to cart, view cards, and checkout, and we'll employ all the concepts learned from above. Now, the tools we need for this tutorial, we name Visual Studio Code, React JS Live References, Node, and NPM. Now, further ado, let's jump into Visual Studio and let's look at how to work with JSX. And before we look at that, JSX is a React view template that allows you to mix JavaScript with HTML. So let's jump into Visual Studio and let's look at how that works. So right here I have Visual Studio open. So the very first thing I'm going to do right there is I'm going to go to File and let's go to Open Folder. So you can navigate to anywhere in your computer where you want to create your application. So I'm going to create mine here. So right click right there in the window prompt and click on New, navigate to New, click on Folder, and I'm going to name this folder. So I'll name this folder Learn React. Learn React. Now click on that folder, click on select folder. So right here I have Learn React opened. So the first thing I'm going to do right there is create a new file. So a new file, and I'm going to name this example underscore JSX.html, and I'll click on that. So I didn't name this properly, so I'm going to name that properly. So example, okay. The very first thing I'm going to include right here are my structural tags. So I'm going to have structural tags. So right here, let's have a structural tag, HTML tag, let's have the head tag, and let's have the body tag. Okay. Right in my head tag, I'm going to have my title tag, and let's have Learn JSX as the title. All right. So before we get coding, let's include references to the React library and also include Babel, which will transpile our EX6 code to compatible JavaScript. So I'm going to switch to my browser and let's go to this site. Let's have react.js.org. Click on Get Started and look for CND links. Click on that and let's copy the script references. I have them. So script references for React.development.js and React DOM.development. Since we're developing, we need the development references. So I'll copy that back to Visual Studio Code, and I'm going to paste that just below the HTML tag. So you can paste that below the body tag or the HTML tag. So I prefer pasting mine just below the HTML tag. So also we need reference to Babel. So we'll go back to my browser, open a new tab, and I'm going to search for Babel.js. So babeljs.io, and I'm going to click on Setup. And let's look for the in the browser option. Click on that. Scroll the way down to usage where you have at Babel stand alone. Look for the script reference that points to babelmini.js. Let's copy that and back to Visual Studio Code. We'll paste that just below React DOM.development.js. Alright, before we get started, let's go to the body tag and let's include a div. I have a div right there, so div, and let's give this ID Ruth. Okay, so once we've done that, the next thing we're going to do is let's add a script tag. I have a script tag. Close that script tag right there. Okay, now let's give this script tag a type. The type is going to be text / Babel. All right, so within that script tag, let's look at how to create a simple JSX. So I'm going to create a variable, so constant, let's have this as temp, and I'm going to include h1 tag right there, and like right there I'm going to have hello Joe, and below that reference, or just above that reference, let's have constant, and let's have this as roots, root elements, and that'll be equal to document.get elements by ID, and let's make reference to our div right here. We define here the ID is root. All right, so below that, below the constant temp, let's have React. So React, this is part of the React DOM JS. So React DOM, capital D, capital O, capital M, dot render, and right in there, this takes 2 arguments. The very first argument I have would be my component or my templates. So let's have a temp. The second element would be the root element or the parent element. We want to append this template to. Not append, we want to add. It's more like add. So I'm going to add this as root element. I'm going to save this, right click, and open with Live Server. Open that in your browser, and you can see what I have is hello Joe. So this works very fine. So you can see that this syntax looks a little bit weird, because right here you're mixing HTML, JavaScript. So React makes this possible. That's why we have JSX. So we're mixing JavaScript with HTML. Now you can also reference variables within your JSX templates. Let's look at that. So let's create a variable. So just above templates, a variable. I'm gonna have that as name, Henry, and I'm gonna reference Henry. So instead of having hello Joe, I'm gonna have hello Henry right there. So hello Henry. So that'll be hello name. So how you reference variables within your JSX templates is we use the curly bracket open and close. Then you can make reference to the variable name or the constant name right there. Or you can also make reference to other JSX template right there as well too. So if I save this, go back to my browser and do a refresh. Okay, so let's see. So we're missing the semicolon. So save that. Make sure you don't miss that. Go back. And okay. So right there I have hello Henry. So it works pretty fine. Now let's add one more template. So we're gonna have constant. Let's have this as parent. So let's have a small p there. Constant parent template or temp. And right here I want to create the JSX template, but I want this to span multiple lines. So how you do that in React is we use curly bracket. So we use the bracket, not curly bracket. So you want to span, you want to have multiple lines. So you do it this way. So right within there you can have a div right there. So I'm gonna have a div in there. So div right in there. I can make reference to other templates. So I want to make reference to temp above right there. So I'm going to use my curly bracket and we'll make reference to temp. Also, let's include one more tag, the p tag, and I'm just going to write there just learning JSX. That's it. So I'll save this. And before we look at the browser, I'm back to React DOM the render. I'm going to take out the temp and replace that with the parent temp. Save this, go back to my browser, and you can see I have these two shows up. Hello Henry, just learning JSX. So this works really fine, and this is the basic idea of JSX. Very simple, straightforward. So you can create the template single line JSX, so without the bracket, or you can have multiple line JSX. So in this case, you have your bracket, and within there you can have your tags, and that tag can have child elements within it. You can also reference other variables or other templates within that. Thank you for listening. I hope this was very helpful. Our next video will be looking at how to work with components and props. Stay tuned.